Welcome back to another presentation up to the time. Now today we'll be looking at plans. So we'll be looking at site plan, roof plan, floor plan, and foundation plan. Those are the four plans we're going to be focusing on today. So we are going to first start off with a definition of what is a floor plan, what is a foundation plan, what is a roof plan, and finally what is a site plan. So let us go over here to Google and let's start off with the top, which is the site plan. And I can read over here, or I can read over here. So for those at home, I am going to read here. What does a site plan include? Site plan typically shows buildings, roads, sidewalks, and paths, trails, parking, drainage facilities, sanitary sewer lines, water lines, lighting, and landscape and garden elements. Site plans include site analysis, building elements, and planning of various types, including transportation and urban. So let's just look at this site plan for a moment. This is an image of a site plan that we're going to focus on just for a little while. So this site plan here shows three large buildings on a plot of land and next to a lake. And then there's a stream which runs through the site. There's some trees. Yeah, you can see the vegetation. You can also see the parking. And you can see the road, which is called Sherbrooke Road, right? Basically, site plan is a overview of the entire site, and that can include several buildings. You can also show the parking layout and stuff like that. Now let's move on now to the other plans. So we're going to go to a roof plan. Coming from the site, we come down now to a roof plan. A roof plan is a scale drawing or diagram of a proposed roof development containing dimensions of the entire roof structure, including shape, size, design, and placement of all materials, ventilation, drainage, slopes, valleys, and more. So this is a typical roof plan here. Just enlarging it. And you can see other roof plans surrounding this one. And it basically is a plan which shows how the roof is laid out, as you can see here. And these roofs that I'm displaying are all pitch roofs. So now let us go to a floor plan. Now we'll go to a different site to get this definition. A floor plan is a drawing that shows a room as seen from above. Everything in a floor plan appears flat. Architects use floor plans to show what a room or building will look like. Anyone who draws or drafts a floor plan is called a draft person, right? So this is a floor plan here to the right. I'm going to take out my annotation arrow, and let's look and see what we have here. We have the entry. That's the door. You can see this is a classroom, so this is the teacher's desk. And then we have all the other desks right here. And probably we have some lockers or some shelves around here. I'm not pretty sure, but I know this is a window here. These are windows. So all these elements go together to make a floor plan, right? And it has the scale. This is done in inches. So this scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, right? So this is just a rough idea of a floor plan. Now let us go to foundation plan. So we read here, the foundation plan is a plan view drawing in section showing the location and size of footings, piers, columns, foundation walls, and supporting beams. A foundation plan ordinarily includes the following: footing for foundation walls, piers, and columns, hidden lines. So this is a typical foundation plan here. And let's go and see if we can find another one. We'll go to images and we'll probably be able to see. So we can click here. And you can see this is the foundation plan. This is all this will be known as the substructure. This is what goes on down in the earth that we are not privileged to see, you know. And this is what it will look like on plan view. So let's look at this one here. And you can see the columns as they go down. The structure is how it's set up. And this one is on some form of a grid system. As we can see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number grids going from left to right, and the letter grids going from top to bottom. So these are just some foundation plans to just give you students an idea of what a foundation plan looks like, what a roof plan looks like, what a floor plan looks like. So let's go here and look for some images of floor plans. The floor plan is the most common plan any student will come into contact with. Just look at this one. It's laid out. And you have some ones that are colorful, like over here, when they're rendered. Those are more presentation floor plans, like if you want to show a client how the interior space will look, you will show them something like that. But for right now, we'll be drafting our plans. So we have looked at the site plan, we have looked at the floor plan, we have looked at the roof plan, and we have looked at foundation plans. So now at this moment, we're going to look at a question that I gave my students. And before I start, this question was taken from Technical Drawing Building Drawing CXC Year 1. This was published in 2013 to 2014. Fourth year coursework and assignments. And this was created by Mr. Troy Phillips. Yeah, he's been doing some good work here. I refer to this document from time to time when I'm teaching my students. So I decided to take one of the questions that he's done, and I've created a model for it. And I'm going to try to complete this question over a series of videos. But for right now, we're going to be focusing on the plans. So let's go over and see what the question says. All right, so here we are. We are reading question 2, assignment 2, which is called a single bedroom cottage. Assignment 2 on the enclosed sheet shows the floor plan of single bedroom cottage to a scale of 1 to 50. The question asks, draw the floor plan of the single bedroom cottage to a scale of 1 to 50. The complete plan should include external walls, internal walls, windows, doors, openings, bathroom fittings, kitchen fixtures, room titles, and 10 dimensions. So that's 40 marks. We are also going to be doing question 3. So we're going to skip question 2 because we want to focus on the plans first before we move on to the elevations. So we're going to be doing question 1 and question 3. I've highlighted these 2 questions in red. Question 3 says, draw the outline of the shape, the roof. Draw the outline of the shape, the roof. So we're going to be doing a roof plan, and I'm going to add an extra question to this. We're going to be doing the foundation plan. So we're going to be doing 3 plans today: a floor plan, a foundation plan, and a roof plan, right? And we're going to be discussing the strategy to getting these done. Okay. So what I have done, I can show you the specifications before we go any further. So let's read the specifications, which are very important down here. These specifications help us to draw and help us to understand the project better. So the specifications here, and these are the categories, the walls, the doors, the windows. So I'm just going to highlight this and let me read. It says all walls are 150 millimeter concrete blocks and 2,700 millimeter high. So let me just explain that, what that means. So the thickness of the wall throughout the house, let's just say this is a box that we're drawing. This is just me trying to scribble something. But generally what I'm trying to explain is that all the walls throughout the project here are going to be 150 millimeter, right? So that's what that first thing means. 150 millimeter, that's the wall thickness. Now the 2700 millimeter high, we wouldn't need that number yet. We would come into contact that, sorry, that number will help us when we are designing the elevations. But for right now, we're going to just need the 150 millimeter concrete wall so that we know all our walls are 150 millimeter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what dimensions we are going to need for this drawing. So we're going to need that. Everything that is a horizontal dimension we'll be using. The doors, it says here doors, internal doors 750 millimeter wide and 2100 millimeter high. So again, this is what we're going to be needing, and I'm going to always highlight what we need from this. External doors are external door 900 millimeter wide and 2100 millimeter high. We don't need the heights. Again, so we move on to the windows. Bathroom windows 600 millimeter wide, 600 millimeter high. All window sizes are specified on the drawing. The head / top of all windows is 2100 millimeter above the floor level. So that is something that we would need when we are dealing with the elevations and sections. But for right now, everything that I have highlighted with the left to right arrows are what we are going to be focusing on while drawing the plan. So that's the first thing you need to observe, how to read the specifications and interpret them so that you can use the information. Now, he has given us some useful commands. It's good to highlight them. It's line, offset, extend, trim, move, rotate, distance, mirror. And I like to add another one that he didn't put here, copy, right? Which is CO. CO is for copy. CO is for copy. And that's another useful one that we'll be using from time to time. All right. So we can just clear that. And now, let us look at the floor plan. Let us finally look at this floor plan. After reading everything, we need to now look at the floor plan and get familiar with it. So here's the floor plan. I have created a model of this project. But first, let us just look at this floor plan before we go over to the model. And what do we see when we see here in the floor plan? Well, I can see a bedroom, fairly okay sized bedroom with a bed in it. Then I can see a bathroom with a shower, a sink, and a toilet. There's a kitchen area, which is about here. Kitchen area, kitchen and living room. Kitchen has in a sink. The kitchen has in a refrigerator and a stove. Some people call the stove a cooker, so always be aware of that. And this is this. Sorry, let me get my arrow. That is the stove / cooker. This is the sink, and that is the refrigerator there. All right. And then we have another room, which is the patio. We have the patio right here, entrance patio. And we have some stairs to access the whole thing, which are right here. You go up these stairs and you move in like that. Now, that is how the space reads, and everything is in millimeters, so that's good. Now let us go over to the model and let us have a look here. So in the model, I'm going to orient it properly so that take off the perspective. Let me take off the perspective and show you in pure plan view. And we can probably read it like this. Let me put on some materials. All right. So we are in here now. We can see the bedroom with the bed. We can see the sink You can see the shower stall. We can see the toilet. We can also see, what else can we see? Let me use this. You can see the cooker, the sink, the couch, which is right here. I have a rug here in the middle and at the outside. And all the rooms are differentiated with different colored tiles. So the outside tile is different from the kitchen and living room tile, which is different from the bathroom, which is also different from the bedroom tiles, right? Now, the beauty about this model is that we can move it, unlike the two-dimensional drawings, and look at this from different angles and get an understanding of how the space feels. Right? You're able to see the couch, you're able to see the size of the bed, you're able to get a feel for the project. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the roof plan at this stage now. So I'm just going to close the roof, close the building, and we can look here. And this is what the roof plan will look like on the model. You're able to see it. Yeah. Let me just turn off the perspective so that you're able to see things more realistic. That's the roof there as we look around the house. And then when we come back to the bird's eye view, we see the roof like that. All right. So let's look at the drawing of the roof plan. We can see the similarities here, right? So let's highlight these similarities here now so that we're able to understand what we're looking at. You can see here the hip, hip, hip. You can see here that would be a fascia board right across there. So you can outline the roof here, and then I'm going to outline it on the model. Yeah. Then we have this that goes in, and this that goes in there. Then here's your ridge board. Yeah, ridge board, ridge board. Hip rafter again. This is a hip rafter. This is a valley rafter. Valley rafter. Yeah. So this is how the roof looks like, and that's how our roof would look like also when we are finished drawing it. So the model is to the left with the textures, and the actual drawing is to the right here. So let's clear this off. Good now. And we can now look at the floor plan, sorry, the foundation plan. But before we look there, let's observe something that is very interesting on our roof. Our roof has an overhang of 300 right here. That means the distance between the building wall, the building line, which is, sorry, not the building line, the building outline, and the roof edge or the roof eave is 300. This word roof eave is also similar to overhang, because the space in here is called the roof overhang, but the line itself right here is called the roof eave, right? So they're very similar. You can have the roof overhang, you can have the roof eave. The overhang is the space between the building and the roof, and the roof eave is the edge of the roof. Also, the roof is placed in at a 45 degree. So that means these angles here to be created must be slotted in at 45 degree. Of course, that is on plan. This has nothing to do with the elevation. That degree is something completely different when we're drawing our elevations or when we're drawing our section. All right. So that is the roof plan, the floor plan. And now let's have a look at the foundation plan here. So this is the foundation plan. Let's pull that aside. And well, what we need to do is we need to, let me do that. We need to actually create our foundation plan. So I'm just going to bring down my section line on the model as I go back through the house, and I then go to the foundation. All right. So this is the foundation here as it will look. And you can see how things are laid out. All right, as a nice perspective to show you what happens there. But we are looking at it in plan view. So again, we can see how this foundation is comprised. Now the dotted line that you are seeing here, let me highlight it. This dotted line, this is referring to the footing, right? And this is the actual foundation wall, right, which is right here. So that is the wall there, the foundation wall, and the dotted line is the footing. The dotted line is represented as dash because it's hidden. You wouldn't be able to see it easily. You wouldn't be able to see it if you were to look down on plan. That would be at the lowest level. So let me show you where this dotted line would be. This dotted line would be right along here. That's the dotted line there. All right. That's that dotted line. And then above the dotted line would be our foundation wall round thing, which is right here. That's our foundation wall there, right? That goes up to receive the reinforced concrete slab, which is create the floor, which will create the floor. Anyway, we will get to that further when we are going to be studying the section. But for right now, that's our foundation plan would look like, and that's a foundation plan there. So now what do I need to do now? So I've finished reading out the question. I've finished showcasing the model and the views we're going to be focusing on. Now we need to go back to AutoCAD and we're going to start drawing this, right? Let's start drawing this. Now, how are we going to draw this? What's the strategy? First thing, let's look at. And as we look, we can see, we can read these dimensions around here and create a shell. That's the first thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight the external dimensions here, 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 and then there, right? These external dimensions are the very outer dimensions. And the one here is saying 8600. The one at the bottom is 8600. The one to the left is 6100. And the one to the right is also 6100, right? So the first thing is you create a rectangle, and then you work on the inside. So I'm going to create a rectangle. I'm also going to create a frame too. So let me just show you what I mean. I'm going to create a frame here. Oh my God. Around here, around there, around there. Then I'm going to offset in to get here. But the first thing is instinctively, I'm going to complete the shape like that first to get that frame. And then I'm going to create what happens on the inside there. That's the first thing I'll do, create the full frame. And then I will then come look at putting in these internal walls. And the good thing is the internal walls are also 150, right? So we don't have to worry about that. Those will be 150. So that's the first thing to do. The good thing about this is we can take this drawing and copy it to create the roof plan and the foundation plan. So once we've drawn this once, that is all. Right? This is the site plan for the project. I'll go through that at the end because that's not part of the question. So let's focus on the question now. So now that we understand how we're going to draw this, I'm going to start. Well, leave the joins there, leave all this in green and red, and then just start somewhere here. So let me find a clean spot and draw down a line so that I can start. So the first thing is I draw a line down. I like starting like that. Why? Because I can offset in any direction and move very quickly. So the first direction I'm going to offset 8600. Offset that from the left to the right, and then offset up 6100. Okay, cool. Now what I can do is trim. So I'm going to trim this, TR to trim. So I've trimmed that. And now what I'm going to do after trimming, I'm going to create a frame on the inside of 150. So I'm going to offset 150 and come in. Those are all in. Now, once I have my frame, I'm going to trim the inside. Or I could trim that later, but I'll trim now. Trim the inside of the frame. And then we're going to offset the internal walls now. So what I'll do is I'll just put these walls into the wall there so that everything will make sense to myself. So put that, take that out of the hatch and put that into my outline there. Now, let us deal with these inside walls now. How do I get here? What dimension am I going to be reading now? I'm going to be reading this 1200. So let me just clear this and probably I can increase the size of this. I'm going to be looking at this area here. So I'm going to be reading this 1200. And I'm going to be looking at this 1900. 1200, 1900. I'm going to offset those two directions from the outer wall. And then let's come in. So let's go offset 1900. Come in, offset 1200. Then what I'm going to do while I'm here, I'm going to offset now 150 and get this wall across there, which would then end up here, somewhere around here. And I'm going to offset this wall 150 so it can close off there. All right. So let me do that. Offset 150. And I offset in. And I offset everything inside. So now I've created my junctions. Can clean these up now. And this is the shape of my building. So this is basically my outline, my building outline. So let us know. Cool. So that's the shape there. Nothing too hard there. What can we do now from here? We need to focus on putting in these internal walls. So let us leave it there for now. And then I'm going to put in this wall. How do I find the information for this wall? Well, it says here I can offset 150. I already got that. So I need then I can offset 1500, 1200, and 1500 again. And I should be able to get smack on to that line. So I can come right here, offset 1550, 1200, and then 1550 again. That's the strategy. So I offset 1550. Offset 1200. Then offset 1550. Then offset 150. Now that's the thickness of that wall. Brilliant. So while we're here, let us deal with this wall now, which is easy. I just need to pull this across right here, and that completes that. So I can do that, and then I'll just trim to put in that door. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me just erase this one here. So let me do that now, right? I can extend EX. Let's use some of the shortcuts that were given. Click that to there to there. Cool, not a problem. Now, these two lines aren't actually needed. These lines need to go through here. These are just reference lines. So I'll trim those, and I trim them here and there. Those just let us know where our windows go, right? Not a problem. Now let us move on to creating this small room. So this small room, how do we get here? Well, we know we have our 150 in, and we can offset 1750 right there. So let us come back here. Let's offset 1750. And then thicken that wall by placing 150 all there, and blam, we got that. So now that's finished. So I think this whole area here is finished. Now what we need to do is we need to go on to the kitchen. The kitchen area is fairly easy. We can start at the bottom if you want to, and we can read. Well, what are we going to read to make this easy for us? We can offset 250 there, and then we can come in by 1,000, and then we will get this line here, right here at that point. That line somehow wouldn't give us the patio line. But however, if we look at this figure here in the background, which I'm going to clear, which is saying 1350, yeah, it is in line right here. So that 1350 will carry us directly to where that wall is, and then we can thicken that up by 150. Yeah, so that's one way we can get that in. So let's do that now. Offset 1350 from here into there. Yep, and then offset 150. Yeah, and then we can trim. So that's it there for that as a shell. Now, the good thing about this is we started to put in our window locations. So let us put in all these windows first before we go any further. So what I would do is just highlight the windows, put them in the blue. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay. Offset. So it states at the doorway, so I can just put that in there. Just putting in window points. So this one, to get in the kitchen window, we need to offset from the line out here, something like 900. All right, 900 euro. So we can put that in, and the dimensions are all there. So if I move along too fast, I'm very sorry, dimensions are there, and I hope that you all have gotten the drift to pick up how this construction is going. That's 900 there, and that's 1200 there. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is trim. So those are my windows there. I'm gonna trim here. Not windows, I should say. Those are my window openings. And then at this point, I need to put in, what is this number? 650. So let's put that in offset 650, and it should work back out. Yeah, that goes to some place right there. And this around here is 250, offset 250. So the process calls for a lot of offsetting, reading dimensions, understanding, picking a strategy, determining where am I going to start this, and just sticking with your strategy. And the strategy that I had is you always start by creating your shell. Once you create your shell, then you can move from there. All right, let's put in this down here by the patio. Put in these two openings. That's 1200, so that's offset. So go for offset 1200, enter 1200 there, and then offset 250. Cool. That's it. Let's offset the 1000 for the step. 1000. And this is a bit tricky around here. How do we actually get in this full thing? Tempted to say the full thing is 21. Let's see the alpha line and pull down a line here. Offset 2100, enter. Yep, 2100 is there, and then we put in our two tiles, our two steps in between here. What I'm going to do to get these two steps in, I'm just going to draw down a line from here and then divide the space in two, and that gives me my two steps. Yeah, just like that. Reason I did that, I didn't see any information to indicate what those steps would be. All right. So this is our shell right here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put in my windows. I already have them as a block, so I can just insert these quickly. Well, I'm actually having trouble with my blocks now, but you know what? This is probably a good time for me to create a block and just copy it in now. So that what I'm going to do is create this quickly. I have a video ready with me creating blocks, so I'm not really honestly feeling that I need to explain this. But the reality is you just create your window and save it as a block. All right. So I've done that there. That's my window. Offset in. How am I going to offset in 15 for my frame on both sides? Find the middle line and pull across. Let's give the glass a thickness, a 10 on each side. 10, 10. Remove the middle line. Yeah. And I'm going to give this little frame in here. So that's probably a 10 also, offset 10. Huh? Now that should be 20, 10, 10. Yep. Let's trim it here, trim. Then we can mirror MI. Grab that, mirror that. Erase or subject, no. Nope. So that's my block. BL is the command for block to access the block menu. And I'm going to put here window. Sorry, window. Window. Window 1200. All right, cool. So that's my window 1200 that I can carry with me now and stamp into place. So what am I going to do? I'm going to copy, and I'm going to put in all the windows on this horizontal band first. Then I'm going to rotate and put in on the vertical band. Now, there's a window here by the patio, which needs to be placed in. I'm going to put that in later because I need to explain how to put that in. So I'm just going to copy out this window, rotate it, RO for rotate, and pull that up here. And let us put in the kitchen windows, copy it, grab it here, and slip that in here and there. And right, need to put in the window over here. This window can be placed in easy. You don't even need to do that. Just need to mirror. MI for mirror. Grab that, select that there. No, cool. Yeah, that's the interesting way of mirroring. If you're not confident, just find how to put it in. But I realize that the distances here are the same. Oh no, 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 no. I can't do that. Let's pull up and let's go here. So what I need to do is offset from the bottom. Actually, they are the same. I don't know what that. Oh no, let me just offset. This is saying 1350. 1350, and this would be 1200. Cool. Just move that. Drag that out to there. Drag that out to there. Trim. So I got those in place. I'm still going to use the same trick. MI for mirror. Mirror it there and then just slot it into place, right? And just bring that back down. And move. M for move, and just drag that back down into place. Alright, just like that, huh? Cool. So let me DI and make sure that this is in the correct place before I go. Yeah, 1350, and that's what it says over here. It says this is supposed to be 1350. So now I need to put in my bathroom window. What I can do is I can grab this, copy this, then I can explode this and create a second block. But only thing, why am I going to explode this? EXPL, because I want to alter this block, and I also want to use the material here to create my 600 window. So that is the distance, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch STRE, click, and look at this. I should be able to stretch that down there. All right, and that is my window in place. Now let me pull that back to there. So I have stretched that in, and now I'm going to create a new block window. So grab the window, blue grab, BL for block, and this is called window 600, right? Windows 600, hit OK. That's there, that's done. So those are my windows in. Now, what other window I need to place in? I need to place in this window down here. Now let's analyze this whole piece here. Right? Let's analyze this whole piece here. First thing first, in order to put in this, it is best to put in the door. Why do we need to put in the door? Because the door is a given at 900. Once we put in the door, then the rest of space, we are going to split this space into two. So that means you will have this space and this space left, right? Then we would divide this space here, split it into two. And then when we split it into two, we would know where our window goes. If you still can't understand, what we need to do is then divide our window in two. So half of our window goes to that side, and half of our window goes to that side. So we will place the window in by grabbing it in the middle point and connecting it there. So let us move on here now to that. That's the strategy. So the first thing is the door is a 900 door. So let's offset 900 so that we mark out. That's where the door goes. So what we can do is just trim off that as the doorway and trim off that here. And then we find the halfway line for here, right? And once we find the halfway line, we can just leave an indicator there. Grab this from here, and we are going to move it at the midpoint and connect midpoint to midpoint. So it didn't mean move, I meant copy. So I do that over. And that's it. So that's how we have put in those windows there, and this is all the windows in. So all the windows are in. We now need to put in the doors. I'm just going to leave it here and let you guys analyze that for a moment before we move on to the doors. Okay, let us move on now to inserting these doors. So let us count how many doors we have here, and let us see the sizes of these doors. So we have 1 door here, 2, 3. There are 3 doors in all, but let us observe them closely. So let us come here. It says here, external door 900. So that's a 900 door. And it says here, internal door 750. So this door will be a 750 door along with this door. So the door for the bedroom and the door for the bathroom 750, while the door to enter from the patio is 900. Okay, so let us go over to the insert block menu. We'll be able to find our doors there. Okay, I have door 1 and I have door, and this is a double door, and this is a door 3. So let me grab door 1 and see if this can go anywhere. First thing, I'll put door 1 in the middle and measure it. DIM, or I could have gone DI to get the distance. And this door is 1,000 millimeters. But the door that I want is 900. So I can either explode this and reduce this, or I can draw a 900 door and then make it a new block. So what I'll do is I'm going to draw a new 900 door so that everyone will get a chance to see how I draw these doors. So first thing, let me measure this distance and make sure that this distance is 900 from here to here. This is 900, and I'll create a door. So I'm going to go on to the door layer, go back home, go on to my layers. Yes, I'm on the doors and window layers. And the first thing I'm going to do is draw a vertical line. Then I could draw my horizontal line also. That's what I start off so that I can offset in any direction easily. So the first thing is 900 across. So I offset the vertical line 900. Put that in there. And then I'm going to create a frame of 50. Now first, frame of 50 on either side, insert in, and then I need to put in the thickness. The thickness that the door will be, the thickness of the wall is 150 millimeter. So I need to offset that thickness. So I'm going to offset 150 millimeter. Either up or down, it doesn't matter, but I'll go up. Trim this down. Just trim. So this is my frame. Now I need to insert my door. I'm going to use a circle at this time. Put a circle here at this point on the inside. Why am I putting a circle on the inside? Let me just clear this so anyone following can see where I am exactly. I'm going to start from here and open up a circle that touches to this point so I can get that arc in there, right? So let's go ahead, continue, see for circle, open it here, and I bring it to right here so that it touches this edge. And then what I do, I extend the line out to the quadrant, and then I need to give my door a thickness. So I'll give it a thickness of 50. Offset 50, and I offset 50 in. All right, so that's my door there. Now I just need to clean it up by trimming. Then I can remove that, remove that, remove that. All right, so my door looks good. It's done properly. I'm going to create a block now. So I'm going to blue grab it, BL to access the block menu, enter, and then I'm going to type door 900 and hit OK. So that's my 900 door. I'm going to put that into place now. I'm going to grab it at this point here, endpoint, and put it right in there. So that's my 900 door in. And now I move over to my 750 door. Now what I can do is I can take this door, explode it, and alter it till I get 750, or I can create a new door. So seeing I've just created a new door, I'm going to take this door that is 900, copy it, and then reduce this to 750. So I just copy it somewhere here, and then I'm going to explode exp, exp brings it explode, and this what this does is this ungroups the door. Yeah, so I'll remove this because I don't need that. And then what I'm going to do is, okay, fill it here just, and then I'm going to offset from this edge line 750. Offset 750, and I'm going to offset it inward. Remove that to that point there. So that there is the distance that I'm working with. Now, what am I going to do now that I got this distance? I'm going to create my circle at this point here on the inside and open it to the inside here. So essentially the total door is 750, but the opening is going to be slightly less. 50 frames on the outside. So the opening could be like 650, but it fits into that spot of 750. So that's how you create doors. And I'm grabbing everything and I'm just going to trim. Yeah. So let's trim nice and neat. That looks good. Okay, I can trim down here. Just grab, screen grab, and just remove that little piece there. Okay, zoom out. And now what I'm going to do is create a block first. Be able to bring the block menu, and I'm going to call this as door 750. So I always know the size of my door anytime I go back to my block menu. And now I'm going to insert this. When I insert this, then I'll clean up the wall opening right here. So I can trim in here now so that we can access our room. Remove, remove. I can also trim these little points here while I'm at it. Then next, what I'm going to do is grab this door, rotate it. I might need to rotate it and then mirror it so that it goes into place to get into the bathroom. No problem. Copy it out first thing. Then rotate it. I don't even have to mirror it. Just need to rotate it and slide it back into place now. Reason why I can do this is both of these internal doors are the same size, 750. So now my doors are in. And let's look around here. We have an opening. Now we have to use our discretion because they don't tell us what's the size of our opening here. They don't. So we need to create an opening right here. So what am I going to do? How am I going to go about this? Now I'm going to give a distance of about 600 millimeter for the counter. And then I'm going to give a distance of 50 millimeter around here. Let me just reduce the size of my arrow so that you would understand. From here to there is going to be 50, and from there to there is going to be 600. And the space left back, I'm going to use as my door opening, right? I'm sorry, as my opening, my wall opening. So let us proceed. So I come here, draw a horizontal line, offset 50. That's in place, and then from here offset 600. Yeah. Then offset Let's see how much I have left back. I have something like 1100. You know what? I'll make it 1000. So I'm going to offset this out 100 more. Give more space to the counter and make that opening 1000 there. So I actually offset that 700 rather than 600. So I'm going to clean this up now. Grab everything and trim. I could have left that and do that. Let's do that. Match chop. So that's our opening, but we need to represent it by placing some dash lines in there. We'll come back to that shortly. Let me put in this counter now, which is 700. So I'll pull that to that, offset from this line here, 700. Good. And this ends around here by this window. So it's one. Okay. So I need to pull a line from here across. So I have in my kitchen counter. I'm going to place this in my furniture layer. I'm actually going to place my fixtures and my fittings on my furniture layer. So my counter goes on my furniture as well. Okay, so we got in the kitchen counter, we got in the doors, we got in the windows. What now? What else do we need to put in? We need to put in, so I'm going to save here. And let's review the drawing now. We need to put in the bathroom fixtures. We need to put in the bed, kitchen, and the couch. So we can find most of these things in my insert block menu. So we start off with the shower. The shower is not quite the same. Things tend to come in my menu and go all the way to the right. I've been trying to solve that and I'm having some difficulties there, but they do come in. And sometimes this happens. Things come in extremely large and I need to resize them, right? So it's a perfect opportunity for me to show you how I actually resize things when they come in and they're too large. So I know this approximately takes up, I wouldn't say half. I would suggest more than half of my space. So I would draw a line to about here, just on average. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this shower down. All right. So what I'm going to do is SC to scale, select the shower, enter, activate the command, select the shower, and that's the shower only, enter, specify a base point, click, and then I'm going to go over to my option reference, RE to reference. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference the length of the whole entire shower, and then just bring it back to this point. So once I reference it, I can actually scale it and bring it back to where I want it, which is this point here. This looks good. And that goes in there. But I still think that it's still large, so I'm going to reduce it by 10% now. Now, if you subtract 10 from 100, you get 90. So my scale factor is 0.90 to get 10%. If I wanted 20%, subtract 20 from 100, I'll get 80. So my scale factor would be 0.80. All right, when we're reducing. So let's do that. Scale, SC to scale, enter to activate the command, select the object, only one object found, enter, specify scale, specify base point, click. And now I'm going to put in my scale factor here at 0.90. And that reduces it by 10%. I think I can work with that. Now, what do I need to do? I need to put in this diagonal line here that we see, which is right here. Cool. So how do I do that? First, I'm going to explode the group so that I can manage it better. And I come here to this halfway point and I pull a line from halfway to halfway there. And then I'm going to fill it. reconnect that line there, reconnect that line there. So let us trim. Now I'm gonna give my shower a little thickness. So what thickness I'm gonna give it? I'm gonna give it about 25. 25 millimeter thickness. Clean it up, and then I'll put this back as a group. And seeing that I already have a shower in here, I'm going to call this shower 2. All right, let me just trim this off here. Let me create a line. All right, see off copy. Put that there, mirror. So I get it on the other side, mirror it along here. And then I'm going to trim. Extend this line to here. And good. We're all good. Now, last thing, I'm going to put this all into one layer and then make it a group. So again, I put these onto the furniture layer. Reselect. Select the whole thing and make it a block BL. I'll call this shower. Shower 2. Cool. So that's my shower in there. Now the next thing I'm going to insert is my toilet. And what's happening is my toilet is all back there, and I think I brought it closer to the action. All right. So this toilet also is quite large. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to scale it down. So I just place it around here, and I'm then going to scale this down. Scale this down by about 40%. So that is 0.60. SC to scale. Select a base point, and I go 0.60. Okay. 40% doesn't seem too bad. Seems pretty good. Again, I'll put that there, and I'll put that into the furniture layer. What else to put in? I need to place my sink. So I go back to the menu where I have everything stored, and I need to put in my sink, but I need to also put a rectangle around my sink, because I have the sink here. And why am I zooming out? Because I can see my, where am I zooming out? The sink is all the way here, very tiny. So this is interesting. Things are in the block menu, but they are various sizes. So I have to scale, and I can now pull this to the scale that I want. Rotate it. So one thing, when you're dealing with things coming out of the block menu, if they're not to scale, you need to know how to get them to scale. And 2, not everything that comes out the block menu comes right in to your screen at the exact point that you want it. Perhaps this is a setting that I need to turn on or turn off to get it there. But it is always important to know how to scale and to know where your items appear on the screen when they're coming out the block menu, so that you can be able to place them, insert them into the correct spot. You can go, you can find them, and then insert them into their correct spots. All right. So I've shown you just in this room about 3 different methods of scaling that I use to get my things into position. All right. Just grab that, grab that, grab that, grab that. All right, so that's the sink in and the square around it, which is the cabinet that it will be inserted into. And that room is finished. All that I have to do is come back to that room and give it a label. Now I need to go into the bedroom. Let's insert the bed. I am not seeing, okay, I see a bed here. Again, my bed is going to come in and it is way too small. But I can see it's a dot right here. So SC to scale, select it, hit enter, specify base point, and just pull it. I don't think I did that properly, so let's go again. SC to scale, grab it, specify base point, and just pull. So I'm going to pull this now to about, I think this is a good size. And then I'm going to rotate this now, RO to rotate. The thing about this is this part here, you can use your discretion heavily. Why did I say that? They're not giving the sizes of a bed. It's just to get the bed in there to convince the examiner that you know how what the bed looks like and where to find the bed and how to insert the bed to complete the plan. Beds come in at various sizes. Actually, I'm going to increase this slightly. So now if I want to increase now, an increase of about 10%, that is 1.10. So that is 10 plus 100. So that would be 110. So we put that in as a scale factor 1.10, right? And that's an increase of 10% there. So transfer this to the correct layer. Grab it and place it into the furniture layer. All right, now, so that room is finished. That was the only thing I had to place into that room. And the last room we move on to is the kitchen and living room. So we need to place a fridge, a cooker, a sink, and 2 couches in this room. That shouldn't be too hard. The hardest thing is probably to scale. That's my sink. Grab it there, scale it, grab it in the middle and pull. And now I can rotate. And I can pull this into place here. Right. So at this case now, I can use the size of my counter, the width of my counter to size my sink. And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to scale again, SC, scale, enter, select the object, enter, specify a base point right around here. And then I'm going to hit R for reference 2. And I'm going to reference this distance here that I'm working with. So I click here to here, and then I'm going to pull this out to the edge. So that's my sink in place. Nothing too wrong with that. Let me just check to see if my window is in place here. It's supposed to be DI. Okay, that's in the right place. I'm going to bring down this sink. Yeah, let's just leave it there. Now, put that into the furniture layer. All those go on one layer. Furnitures and fixtures. I have them fixtures, fitting, and furnitures all on one layer. That's furniture. All right. Insert. Come back here. Looking for my range oven or cooker. But this is what I'm looking for. Select it. And I put it right here in the middle and scale. And I just drag it to about, yeah, That seems about right. Cool. No. Let's scale some more. Let me reference this and pull it out. Okay, SC to scale. Select object, enter. Base point, R to reference, enter. Set this distance of the other and then pull to there. Great. That's in place. And then now it's the last thing in this room, which is a square. And that will represent the fridge. It's right here, fridge. Place it in the middle, SC to scale, enter. Click at the base point and pull it into place. Cool. Now move, insert it into the corner and scale it with a reference now. So that's my stove and my refrigerator in. And I place these into their proper layers, and that would be the end of the kitchen. Now we move on to the living room, and this is going to be fairly easy. I see my couch is here. There's a two-seater. Grab this one, place it in the middle, scale. RO, rotate. For this one, I use my discretion because I don't have any reference. But what I realize is that there are a few clues you can use. What's the distance between there and there? Obviously, mine is 2. It's too short. So I got to reduce this. So how am I going to reduce this? Start off by reducing it by 10%. Scale. Okay, there, enter. And if I want 10%, 0.90. Yeah. Can I 10% it again? Oh yeah, why not? 0.90. Oh yeah, I think that looks good. We'll settle for that. I'll bring this closer so that it would have more space. And then I'm going to mirror this now. Like that. I can't find. I know how to mirror this. I'll drag this to there temporary. Then I'll mirror this. Mirror. Blam. Blam. No. Then I adjust this by pulling this up, moving this up. And that would be the living room complete. So grab these and put these into our furniture layer. So let's take a look at what we have so far and what's missing now. What's missing? I need to clean it. I need to resolve this area. I need to put in these lines here. So let me work with a permanent marker rather than this spotlight or whatever it is that I'm working on. Vanishing pane? No. So that's one. I don't want this vanishing pane. I don't want that arrow. You know what? Don't let me waste my time. Let me just clean them up now. I'm here and I can remember. So here, the distance from this point to here is 450. I'll do that offset 450. I'll just pull this down to there. Then I'm going to trim. No longer need that line. What I'm going to trim? What else am I going to trim while I'm here? I could trim that space in there. I could trim that off too. What else do I need to put in? So that area has been resolved. I need to come back and put in the dash lines. And I think that's it. Now, how am I going to put in dash lines? I go over to my reference layer. References. Alpha line. And I pull down this line. Now I need to set these lines because right now it's on continuous. So I can select these two, right click, go to properties, and I'm going to change from continuous to hidden. Let's start with hidden, but I need to change the scale type. So let's take it to 10. I don't like how 10 looks because I can't see anything. 50, still can't see. Another option I have is I can go hidden 2. Look, if I go hidden 2 at 50, I think they're too large, so I go back to 10. 10 too small. Let's go 25. 25 seems good to me. So I'll work with 25. That's usually how I put in my hidden lines. I put them in and I look at them and see if when I zoom out, if I like how they look, then I can match drop the rest now. So this, you know what? I want to match drop this whole line, but I need to make a break at this line. BR to break, enter, select, point, and then break it there. So I want to pull this back to here. What else do I need to break? I need to break at the point for the column. So I go BR to break, BR to break. Pull that back to there, to break. Pull that back to there. So why am I breaking my lines? I'm breaking these so that when I match drop, the exact line that I want will be the dotted line and not another part of the wall. So now I think I can put them in now. So I'm gonna match drop MA, enter, select 1, 2, 3. That's 3. That's good. What I'm also going to do is seeing that this is going to be lower, we're not going to be cutting through this. This doesn't need to be an outline layer. This can be placed into reference. So it's at the same time too, because that's on a lower level. All right, that's why I put that into references. So now this time I need to clean up this junction here. That's clean, squeaky clean. And here too. Good. I think this is all done in terms of how it's drawn. What else do I need to place in here to get my full marks? Well, I need to label. That's going to be easy. Now, normally what I'm going to do is just grab a label from here and then copy in the rest. Why am I doing that? Because I want to get the same size label, and I can't honestly remember what is the size. I think this looks a bit small now I'm thinking, but it's a double click and see what size this is. This is 100. I'm going to beef everything up to 150. Yeah, I think that reads better. So what I'm going to do is copy this label, and then I'm going to just place that in here. I just stamp these around. And that's the one for the bathroom. But when I'm placing them in, when I'm copying, I always turn off my ortho. I think that's very important to keep that off so that you can actually stamp them in where you want to. So bedroom is in, change this now to kitchen, and living room. Change this to entrance patio, change this to hallway, change this here to bathroom. And that's it. So we got our labels in, our walls in, our windows in, our furniture fixtures. Pretty much everything is in. But before we move on to the next drawing, what I will do is I'll hatch the walls. So I'm going to go over to my hatch layer. I have a specific layer for that. And I want to hatch it exactly like how I hatch this one, the finished one. So what I'm going to do is check the properties of this. So what pattern am I using? So let me maximize so that we can see. I'm using ANSI 31, no angle, scale 300. So it's ANSI 31, 300. Okay. So let me insert that. H to hatch, and I come here. That's in. I think seeing that was the last hatch I used on this file, it's default to that. So I didn't really have to check it out. It's all there for me. And this hatch, now I'm going to put this as pure concrete in here for these columns. Or I can keep them as bricks. I know what, keep them as bricks. Keep it simple. So lastly, what do I need to do before I move on to another drawing? Let's check back the question, see what the question asks for. So let's see what's missing. This over here, put this into focus. So let's go down and tick off what I have done with my vanishing pen. External walls, tick. I think I got all of them. I had to create the shell. Internal walls, tick. Windows, tick. Doors, tick. Openings, these are the openings here. Right here. These are the wall openings or just openings. Bathroom fittings, tick. 1, 2, 3. In. Kitchen fixtures, 1, 2, 3. So that's a tick. Room titles, hallway, bathroom, bedroom, kitchen and living room, entrance patio. So that's a tick. Last thing I need to do, 10 dimensions. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to put 10 dimensions. So I'm going to put 5 dimensions on the inside and 5 dimensions on the outside and get a total of 10 dimensions. So I can randomly put in any dimensions just to say I have 10 dimensions, but I want to use useful dimensions that if someone wanted to build this or get an idea of how large this building is, they'll be able to look at the suitable dimensions here. Now I'm going to put in the important dimensions. So DIM to access the dimension menu, enter. Let's go. So put this in. Let me increase this. That's another dimension that's useful. So that's 3. It's another one that's useful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on the outside, 5 on the inside. So I come here to here. Let's get the size of the bedroom. There. And put on my ortho to help me. 2, 3 on the inside now coming up. Pull this back to here. Let me pull this back to here too. So they all read on one line, right? So that's how many on the inside? 1, 2, 3, 3. Let's go. Four. 5. All right, I think I got my 10 dimensions there. That's all done. Now, let's see. What do I have to put in? All right, this is something that a lot of students forget at this stage. So let me just highlight it. A lot of students tend to forget to place the title. Print a suitable title and the drawing scale used at the bottom of the drawing. Dimensions not given are left to your discretion. Okay, so we need to place a title in here now. And the title is going to be floor plan. I can call it single bedroom cottage floor plan, but I'll just call it floor plan and I will put the scale underneath. Now I have this all set up as a nice block. Well, at least I think I do. Is it on this file? Yeah, it's right here. Title bar with scale. So I can click here. And again, I can just bring it in, drop it there. Hopefully it's there. No, it's not there. It's probably in at the northeast. So I grab it over here at the airport where it landed and bring it home. All right, and the scale is scale 1 to 50. So what I can do is just go in here, double click to edit the block. Seeing that's the only thing I'm going to be changing, I'm just going to double click here and change the scale to scale 1 to 50. And then I can close block editor. Then I'll save the changes to title bar with scale. And they're reflected right here. All right, so this is a finish question 1. So I drew the floor plan of the single bedroom cottage to a scale 1 to 50. And I have gone through my checklist. So I'm confident that this is done, and this is, sorry, I'm confident that this is done properly with everything that has been asked of me. Now, let us draw the outline of the shape, the roof. All right, so let's clear here and let us look for the roof plan. And oops, and it's right here, the roof plan. So we can see that we can draw the roof plan over this easily, not a problem. But we're going to draw the outline, and I'm going to put the rafters in, and I'm going to remove the furniture and all that you wouldn't be able to see if you were looking at it from outside. So let's revisit the model. And I'm going to remove the section cut on the model, and we're going to be looking at the roof from here. But I'm going to show you a dash line of the building outline underneath. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. So how do I do this? Well, I can pull this out to the side. So when I finish, this is what my roof plan is going to look like. All right, it's going to look like that. So how do I get there? Let's focus back here. And I'm going to copy and pull this to the side. And the first thing is I'm going to delete these things in here that I don't need. I can keep the notes, the titles, but I'll delete the fixtures, or I could have turned them off. That's another thing I can do because I'm working with layers. So if I want to, I can turn them off, but I'll turn off everything. Yeah, I'll turn them off. Let's see how that goes. Turn off the hatch tool, turn off the doors and windows. And this is what we got. Let's see, what else do I need to turn off? Turn off the dimensions. No, I can't turn off the layer that I'm currently on. So I'll go to temporary layer, turn off dimensions. All right. And put myself on the roof layer. Cool. So let's clean this up. So I don't need these here. So I can take out these points where the windows are, because I don't need them. The windows are already in. All right. What else can I do? I don't need these lines in here. So I just need the outline of the building. So the internal walls I don't really need. They're not really going to help me at this stage. So I can just do that. Yep. Nice and cheap, just like that. Now seeing that all the lines I'm going to be drawing are going to be represented by dashed lines, I can then match drop all of these lines. First, I've joined those lines there by using the command join. I can then match drop these lines here to this line. So this whole outline I can match drop. So let me do that and show you. Select, select, select. And then I can get rid of these lines here because I don't need them. Because when we are going to be looking down at the top, we not necessarily need to see these little details in there. We just need to see the building outline, right? So that we will know the relationship of the building to the roof. Just doing a little join in here. Good. So the first thing now that we have our building outline, I am going to offset to get my overhang. Let me show you where I'm looking to see this information. My overhang is a distance of 300 millimeters all around, offsetting from my last building line wall, which is the exterior wall. So it'd be this wall, then I'll come here, then I'll come here, and I'll go all the way around offset 300. So I go offset 300, and I just start. So I'll start right here. Now just push out, and I offset out. Cool. So this would now be filleted to connect them, to make them a frame. So this is now a frame directly outside of the building. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these now to my roof layer. And I'm going to change these to solid line by going to the properties, move it off of hidden, and go to continuous. That makes it a solid line. Now I'm out finished with the property menu, so I can close and continue. Now remember, I showed you this number here, 45. That's the general angle that we're going to be using to connect and create the roof. So how does this come into play? All right, let us now get back over to AutoCAD. L for line, and I create a 45-degree here. I can either do that by tapping tab and then type in 45. Now that I have the line drawn and I have it pulled out to some distance, I can just pull it to some distance up or across. And then if I want to alter the angle, I can tap tab, or I can press shift and left hand symbol and type in 45. Right? And it goes like that. Or what I could have done is seeing that I'm here, I could just connect that to there. Right? From there to there, and that would be 45 degrees. So I can go around and do that and just connect them to here and then fill it these all in to the reach their intersecting points. So I think I'm going to do that, but this first one I'll leave there. This is going to be a faster method, so I'm going to do that. Just pull them to here, go around, go around, there to there, there to there. And now how do I move? So let's look back at this. The first two that I'm going to be doing to show you how this works are going to be these two here. So I'm here. So say I'm here, right? And I'm here. I'm just going to fillet this by connecting that. And I'm going to take this and that and then fillet. That will go to there and that will go to there. So I'm just going to be using the fillet tool to get these to connect. And where the fillet tool can't work, I'll be using the line tool to draw. So let us proceed. There to there, fillet that to that. And right, like I can't fillet anything here. You know, I can't fill it in. That's not how that's supposed to go, and blah blah. So what do I do? Draw a line, cross some random line, sorry, some random distance going left, and then I fill it now from there to there, just to get that. And what am I going to do? Draw this random line going across here, and I'm going to fill it that to that, and then I connect them by drawing a line from this point to there. So that's my roof essentially. But say my roof is going to be my dominant feature of this drawing. I'm going to take it from out of this layer and I'm going to put it on my outline layer. I could have left it here on the roof layer, but I want it to stand out. So I'm going to place it onto my outline layer, just like that. So that's the roof in. And now what I want to do is I want to show the roof members. So I'm not going to put in these members one by one. I'm actually going to go for a hatch. I use a hatch somewhere around here. The reason why I'm not seeing the hatch is because I turned off my hatch. All right. Now, if I turn on my hatch, you're going to see a bunch of things under here on. All right. And what I want to do is I don't want these things on because it will confuse the drawing. So I'm going to move this drawing now, how I have it, to the side, and then turn on my hatch. It's going to look confusing because I'm moving this out of place, and I'm turning back on, not the hatch, man, I'm turning back on the hatch layer. And right, things are out of place, so everything is going to seem to be over there. This is the hatch that I'm going to be using. So let's look at this hatch so that I can reference it. It's going to be user. The angle is 90, but the angle is going to vary. On this side, the angle is going to be 0. On this side, the angle is going to be 90, and the scale is going to be 200. So let's put that in. So let me clean the screen. Good. So you see, I don't need this now. I can delete that. I can put in my new hatch. H for hatch. And what I'm going to do is turn off my text layer so that I can hatch this properly. See, that's what happens when the text layer is on. Tries to reference what was there. Sorry, it tries to create a hole and avoid the text. I don't want it to do that. So I want this to be represented as a vertical set of lines. Think here too, in there, hatch in there, and that's good. Those are all the vertical lines. Now I need to put in the horizontal lines, which represent the horizontal rafters. So I'll put these in as they are in vertically, and then I'll just change them. But saying I'm putting them in together as a group, it's actually easier for me to change them now as a group by just coming here and changing the angle to 0. Just that way, but when I type 0 and it didn't change, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So be lucky you know the various ways to getting things done around. I'm just match dropping so I can get back the correct layer color. Okay, so what I see here, this part didn't hatch. And now I match drop it. That goes to there. And that now is finished. Yeah, so this is a finished roof plan. But I'm going to turn on my layers, my dimensions, doors and windows and furniture and text. Now this is where the old roof was. So some of these dimensions can move, can be deleted. The furniture here can be deleted because we no longer need that. I'm going to pull back this dimension to here because it could be still useful. And what am I going to do now? I'm going to label the parts of the roof. So before I do that, let's bring this joint closer here. I'm going to slide this across here, copy, CO to copy, slide that across here, and I'm going to rename this roof plan. ROOF roof plan, scale 1 to 50 is correct. Save the changes to title bar. Yep. All right. So the roof plan is in. Now what do I need to do? I need to label this roof plan. So what I'm going to do is set up a margin right about here. And I'm going to be using my leader tool, which is right here. Leader. You can pull here, and I'm going to be using this leader here. Now, this is a bit tricky. Sometimes you see me type M leader to bring up the leader tool, but I generally always grab my leader from up in the ribbon menu up here. I don't ever just type it in the command bar to bring it up. So the first thing I'm going to start with is, this is my building outline, right? So right here, I pull, click, enter. Now I'm going to start typing building outline. So that's my building outline. What's my size? 50. I want my size text to be 150. Outline is one word. So that looks good. I think I can beef with this arrow. So I'm going to click here, right click, go properties, and let's come down to arrow. Arrow size is 50. So it turned out to 100. I still think that could be 200. Yeah, 200 is good. Building outline. Cool. Now I can grab this text and match it and pull it all the way around and then just alter. I think I'm going to do that rather than set back up a new text and I have to change the arrow size and I also have to change the size of the text, the font size. So I'm going to put that to about here and I'm going to pull that over to here and reference the hip rafter. Hip rafter. That's good. And we're going to copy this down to here. Then I'm going to call up the fascia board. FASCIA, fascia board. That goes there. That's where you will pin your gutter to. If we had a gutter for this project, we will put the gutter around here on the fascia board, or that can be called the roof eave, right? So I'm going to put fascia board, and then I'm going to put slash roof EAVE, the roof eave, right? Now, what else am I going to label? I'm going to label the ridge board, which is right here, and I'm going to call up a common rafter. So how do I label the ridge board? I'm going to use a leader by pulling it from here, pulling it down, click, and then turn the corner, and then activate it here, enter. Right, just like that, and that's the ridge board. RIDGE, ridge, BOARD, ridge board. Now I'm going to leave it like that and max drop it. Yep, and that's in place. Ridge board. What else do I need to put in? I need to put in my common rafter. These rafters are in gray, are my common rafters. So copy, and I just put it to one of these spots here, and it's on a rafter there. Just change that to common rafter, right? COMMON, common rafter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pieces of information to help you understand this roof drawing. We have the hip rafter, the common rafter, the building outline, the ridge board, the fascia board slash roof eave. What else can we put on? I have some more notes here on this one. So let's look here and see what's missing. All right. I think that's it. What I have here, eave slash overhang. Fascia board, roof eave, and the area under here is called the roof overhang. I can leave that off. I think that's it for my notes. So now I can remove my margin. So everything looks all neat and tidy, just like that. Got a few dimensions onto the roof. I'll put a dimension here. Copy. I'll just pull this over to here. Probably stick that there. And the good thing is we can adjust these dimensions if I want to. Like if I want to dimension the roof, you can do that. Yeah. So you can know that's the span of the roof there. Probably do it for this one so it'd be consistent as well, rather than repeating information that we already have. Yeah, remove this. This wouldn't be necessary. All right. So that's a roof plan finish. And that's a floor plan finish. Oh, there you see what happened. Seeing that I didn't explode this. As I edited, both of these names reflected the same thing. That's floor plan, roof plan, and lastly, I'm going to create the foundation plan, which would look like this drawing here. And that only carries 2 notes, the concrete base and the 200mm block foundation wall. Actually, I'm going to use 150mm. This is the foundation plan here. And that's what we are going to be reproducing right now. The good thing is I can take this drawing of my floor plan and then just copy it over like I did with the roof plan. Just pull it to the side, copy, and again I can turn off my, I think the best thing is to turn off the layers that I don't want, then move it out, then delete, and then put it back in place. Find that easier, so turn off the dimension, turn off the hatch, turn off the furniture, turn off the windows and doors. You won't see those in the foundation. Turn off the references. Actually, keep the references on. And turn off the text. I'll keep on. So now at this level of the foundation, we try to connect all the walls together. So what do I mean by that? You would see in a moment. So just remove this dotted line and that dotted line there. Remove the stairs. The stairs will be part of the foundation. That's above the foundation. So that wouldn't read. I can remove that. Remove this window location point. These 2 points, sorry. And let's see how this works out now. So I'm going to join these walls together, or I'm going to fillet in some instances. Like there to there is a fillet, a clean fillet, and this is a join. These 2 lines join. By the way, the command for join is J, enter, and this is an extend. So I pull this like that, that. This is another extend. Why do we connect all the walls? So that the structure is stronger when everything is connected. To make the structure strong, basically. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up these points here so that when I fill, the fill will go through these openings here. So sometimes when you see me just cleaning up and making these channels open, that's so that when I fill once, it will go in. So imagine I'm going to be pouring my concrete in here. I need that the concrete goes everywhere. So I hit H for hatch, and I just, right. I think my hatch is off. My hatch layer is off. So I'm going to put this in concrete. Let's look for the concrete pattern. That's ARCon, if I can remember correctly, right? ARCon is there, and my scale is 200. That's a bit too large. Let's put it to 100. Still too large. Let's put it to 50. I think 50 is good. 50 is good angle. My angle should be 0 for the concrete. No need for me to change the angle there. And that's it. So what I'm going to do now is grab this and move it out of place so that when I turn back on these layers, everything should be in that spot. Then I just delete. Right? Furniture, hatch, windows and doors. Right. Just can grab that. So you can just grab things like that I no longer need and just delete. And then I just slide this back into place. Nice and easy. Like that, right? And then this would change the foundation plan. Foundation plan. And what do I need to do now? I need to transfer these hatches over to the hatch layer. That's one. Go clean up this junction here. Cool. And I need to put on the concrete footing. So let's look at the model again and see now, what are we looking at? Put on my section cut. Let's look at this as we go down. Right. So the concrete footing that you're not going to be seeing because you're going to be below is this right here. So let me bring up my annotation. All right. This is the footing under here. So it's also on the inside here. So you see it's on the inside and it's also on the outside. So I need to offset, and that's a distance of 200 millimeter away from our wall on the outside and 200 millimeter offset inward to get that frame. Right? So let's clear. Let us do that now. Offset 200 millimeter, and let's go. All right, I think I need to turn off my hatch. My hatch getting in the way of my offset. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. This would then be placed into our dash line. So I will put this into references, and then I will call this up as a dash line. Right? I think I got all my points, so I can now fill it. No, I missed one. Right. So now I can fill it, create my frames. There's also a quick way to fill it. F to fill it, and then hit M for multiple, so that I can just go along and click without having to reactivate the tool again. One of my students showed me that in a class. Made a lot of sense. So I'm showing you now. From time to time, my students always like to show me an easier way to do things. And I really appreciate them for that. You know, it shows me that they're learning and they want a quicker way to do things. So they're actually also exploring the program while learning, building drawing, and learning AutoCAD. Yeah. So let's go offset 200. Cool. I'm going to max drop this to my outside frames, to my footing. So this is what it will look like. Then I'm going to turn back on my hatch and I'm going to place my notes onto this join. So it's a simple join where we just use one join and we copy out to generate the other two joins. So this makes it very easy. So if you have drawn the plan first, you've done the majority of your work. So this is the hatch back on. That's how it will look like. All these will be connected to make the whole structure very strong and secure. Now, again, I'm going to pull my line out here. Let's look back at these notes that I'm going to be placing. So this is a concrete block, sorry, 200 millimeter concrete block foundation wall. I think we use, let me just grab this note here. I'm going to grab both of them. I think we use 150 millimeter. So I'm change that to 150 millimeter concrete block foundation wall. And the next note shows the concrete base. Those are the two notes that we're going to be. So I'm just going to grab them and copy them across rather than try to set up a margin at this stage, right? Turn off my F8 and let's see. So what do I have to look for before I just pull them back to here? Yep. Pull that back to there. Yep. And what size notes are these? 150 and change that to 150. So 150 is the size. That's cool. I take away my margin and I have all my notes in. I'll put a few dimensions on this drawing. DIM. And where are we going to dimension? We're going to dimension the walls that we can see. I would never advise my students to dimension the dash walls which represent the concrete base, because it's going to be very hard for you to, if you were trying to, if you were trying to measure them, you have to go deep down in the earth to make sure that they're accurate. It's better to dimension things that you can see, that you're able to access and check. So let's pull to here, to there, there, to there. And I think that's good enough, because they didn't ask me, question didn't ask me to dimension here, just dimension here. So it's to complete the drawing with some dimensions. So I have my foundation plan, I have my roof plan, and I have my floor plan. All right, I can bring these closer. And are there any more plans that we need to look at now at this stage? I think so. There's one more plan. I'm just going to briefly go through. I'm not going to be drawing. I'm just going to discuss and analyze what we have here. And that plan would be our site plan. So let's move on to that right now. Let's go over here to the site plan now. So let's look at this site plan and see what we see first. Well, we can see a building on a piece of land with some trees. I can see a driveway, and I can also see a north arrow, see a set of things. So let's go through bit by bit what we have here, so that everyone be able to understand. The first thing, this is the boundary line. That is your land parcel. You cannot go outside of that. You'll be encroaching on your neighbor. Let's start with that. That's our boundary line. And then we have something called setbacks. Setbacks are given by our local government authority, local governments. They tell you where within the land you can build, right? So this is the setback here that I'm working with. As you can see, all within this yellow dash line. That's where I can build my, that's anywhere in there I can place my building. I can't place my building outside of that yellow box. So those are my setbacks. Those determine where the building can go on the site, right? So those are the first two important things that I observe, that you have to observe when designing and when placing a building onto a site. So let's clear that off now so as not to confuse the drawing. And let's look at other things that are needed. Now, you can see the vegetation, trees, coconut tree or palm trees around. We identify where the trees are. These are our trees here. I've highlighted them, and they're represented by two different symbols. One we can tell is a palm tree, and the other one will probably represent another tree, some other form of a tree. But those represent the vegetation. Now, what are these things? GT, SD, MH. GT is a grease trap. Grease trap. But what happens is the waste that comes from the kitchen sink has in a lot of grease. So before it goes to the septic tank, you know, the grease has been extracted here in this grease trap, and then the wastewater will go along to the septic tank. So this grease trap chamber removes grease from your kitchen sink. Over here is a manhole. That is also a chamber that you can inspect to make sure the water is going smoothly before it goes on. Sorry, the waste is going smoothly before it goes on to the septic tank. And the reason why these manholes are invented is we try not to bend the pipe in this 90-degree. So if I need to get from here to here, and that distance might be too long, I will go here, and then I will create a channel, a manhole, and then I will just connect it over to the septic tank. You try not to bend pipes. When you bend pipes, that means the waste is stuck at the bent joint, and that can be very difficult to resolve later on. You could get a lot of blockage and stuff like that. So the best thing is to create a chamber, a manhole, normally by putting them into the manhole and creating another outlet on the square so that the waste comes in there and it turns the corner in a very natural way rather than try to force it through a pipe and it's bendy. Um, it makes sense. If you guys know anything about manholes, you can check it out or you can do further research there to see how they work. Now, the surface water drain in each direction. What is this? This tells me where the rainwater is going to go, how the land is sloping. So the first thing when I'm looking at this, I can see that my rainwater would be coming in this direction here and going down in that slope right there, right? It would drain in this area. That's good. That means if I want to catch that rainwater, I know where to set up a catchment point, and I do have a catchment point. I have a water storage tank under here. That's probably, I can collect rainwater and store it there at that point because the water is being drained to that area. And when I store that rainwater, I can use that to water the plants or even to clean up around the house, clean up on the outside. I can actually reuse the water that I've stored in that area. What else do I see here on this site plan? I also see a driveway. You can see this is my driveway. So this is for future development. I'm thinking that if the person that owns this cottage want to place a garage, this would be a nice place to place a garage onto the house. So the house was oriented onto the site with the intent that there might be future development and it has the space. Whatever you want to do, we have space there, but I created a garage right there. And I have created a driveway to lead to that spot on the property, all right? Also looking at the site plan, you would see the access to the building. And here's the access road. I'll put some arrows. So this is the access. You would enter the site like that. And if you have a car, you can park it here. Or if you're walking, you can access here and walk in like that. But this is the access road where the vehicles would be going up and down on this street. You can see that the center of the road is called up and it is represented by a dash, dot, dash, dot, dash, dot, and so forth. Let's see what else here I didn't talk about. Oh, lastly, we have a north arrow, which helps us this gives us a lot of information. This tells us where north is. And if we know where north is, we're able to understand how the sun moves. And then we're able to understand where the coolest part of the building would be and where the hottest part would be. So let's just draw a sun ball here. And let me move this. We know that the sun starts in the east. That's where it rises. So here is the east. So this will be morning. East, I'll put morning. Morning. And we know that it sets in the west. And I'll put here evening. This is very important because by understanding where north is, I know where my sun and how my sun travels. So I know around, this is how the sun is going to travel in this direction. So I can basically map out or determine where the hottest parts of the house would be. And that would be around here and probably around here. Why? The evening sun is the hottest sun. So around just after 12 going, or after 1 going right down to sunset, it's going to be very hot, especially if you live in a Caribbean region. Whereas in the morning, it's going to be hot, but the morning sun wakes you up, and you wouldn't mind putting a bedroom on the east side to get the morning sun. The advantage of having a bedroom on the east side is when you come to your bedroom in the evening, you actually have a cool bedroom, right? But if you have a bedroom on the west side or the south side, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. It's going to be quite uncomfortable in the evening time, especially if you don't have an AC unit to cool down the place. So by knowing where north is, you can tell which bedrooms are going to be cool from which are going to be warm, or generally the warm and the cool parts of the house, not necessarily it would be a bedroom. But that's the advantage. You can also tell where the wind is blowing. Different things you can determine once you know where north is on the site. I think this brings us to the end of the whole tutorial. So let us just recap here now before we get out of here. So what did we do today? We went through plans. We went through floor plans, roof plans, and foundation plans. I went through these definitions, and I actually attempted a question that was given to me that I found in this technical drawing building drawing CXC year 1 book. I went through a question, and the question that I went through was the cottage drawing. Right? The single bedroom cottage. What did I do? I drew the floor plan. I did a roof plan. Let me come down here. This is what I was focusing on. We did a floor plan, we did a roof plan, and we did a foundation plan. I also labeled by placing the room titles in, and I placed labels onto the roof plan: hip rafter, common rafter, building outline, ridge board, fascia board, / roof eave. And I labeled the foundation plan. I identify where the concrete block walls are, and I identified concrete block walls are here, and I identify where the concrete base is, which is right here on the roof plan. And lastly, what I did is we went through what the site plan looks like and how to identify the elements and the symbols on a site plan. So I focus on this site plan here, which has some dimensions, notes and labels, vegetations. I identify where the setback is. For those of you that didn't capture that, the setback is right here, and the setback. So identify setback, and the setback means this is the area designated for you to build your house within this square. Right? Setback conditions are given so that you know how to offset from the boundary line. Like here's a condition, here's a setback dimension, over here is a setback dimension, and based on each face you get a different dimension sometimes. So the setback might be different from the road side than from your neighbor's side, right? So the setback dimensions aren't necessarily the same. So you have to read your site plot carefully and insert the setback marks properly so that you will stay within the proper regulations and you wouldn't cause yourself any problems. Also, I identified the waste disposal systems: grease trap, septic tank, manhole. So that brings us to the end. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. Again, this is another long tutorial. I would advise everyone to take this in chunks. You might have to do one plan at a time, take a break, and then come back to another plan. And here is a model of the house that we will be studying. So this will be our study house. Next time I come, we will be going through elevations and section. So we'll draw the 4 elevations and then we will draw a section. Yeah. So we will cut this and we will see how the section is comprised. again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the content, and share it with others. Now, take care and practice, practice, practice to get you sharp. I am out.